With Beyond Light fast approaching, there's lots to look forward to in Destiny 2, but with the recent announcement by Bungie that Charged with Light and Warmind Cell mods will be compatible with Season 12, there's a few weapons you'll want to get your hands on to get ready to blow up the Frosty Fallen. Today, we've got the best PvE Warmind Cell god rolls and how you can obtain them. So if you're Rasputin's best bud, you're in the right place. Smash that sub button, give us a like down below if you want your next engram to be an exotic, and let's get into it. Warmind cells have been immensely powerful since their introduction in the Season of the Worthy. There are some insane top tier high DPS builds available with them, all of which we have covered here on the channel, so once you're done with this one, I'd highly recommend you go check some of them out. But in order to create Warmind cells, you generally need two things: a Warmind cell mod that will allow them to drop, and a weapon that will create them. There are a few alternatives to this equation, but to keep it simple, I'd recommend using the Global Reach mod. Now that we've got the technicalities out of the way, let's jump straight in with the first weapon you'll want to get. The Ikelos shotgun, or the EP Shotty as it's affectionately known. This shotgun is a firm fan's favourite since its initial release during the Warmind DLC from year 1, but it recently got a refresh in the Season of Arrivals and now has a power cap of 1360, taking it all the way to the end of year 4. You can obtain this weapon from beating the final boss of the Prophecy dungeon as a random drop. However, the checkpoint can be farmable if you rotate your characters within a fire team. The Prophecy dungeon is going away temporarily during the first season of Beyond Light though, due to the upcoming in-game engine changes, so essentially you only have until the end of Season 11 to go grab yourself a god roll capable of creating Warmind cells. The EP Shotty is a solar energy weapon with a rapid fire frame that fires full auto and reloads faster when the magazine is empty, which is exactly the way you want to use it. As we are looking at PvE rolls, for the magazine perks you'll want anything that can increase the mag size, so extended mag, tactical mag or appended mag are the choices here. Now in the third column there are lots of great options, but ideally you'll want something that will assist with getting the maximum DPS potential, and so Threat Detector for an increase to reload, stability and handling when enemies are nearby is also the first great option. Alternatively, Pulse Monitor, which saw a buff at the start of Season 11, is also a decent shout, as it will auto reload the weapon when you are critically wounded, even if the weapon is stowed, which given that you'll be in the trenches pumping lead into your enemies, this could become handy to get them high DPS numbers. Speaking of lead from gold is also a solid roll here, as picking up heavy ammo will also grant this weapon ammo too. This is a great perk for higher level content, which intrinsically has the juggler modifier on, and so ammo drops can sometimes be limited. So having the ability to refresh ammo from 2 ammo types is more valuable than it seems. As for the final column, there are lots of great traits, but for the optimal DPS option you'll want Vorpal Weapon, as this gives a straight up weapon damage buff to bosses, vehicles and guardians in their supers. The OG Trench Barrel is still hugely viable, but with its nerf to its output with only 3 shots before it needs proccing again from a melee, it's not the god it once was. Not to be slept on though are Rampage and Surrounded, especially when it comes to creating consistent Warmind cells, as these will allow you to buff your damage regularly, and when combined with Lead from Gold or Pulse Monitor, you'll be creating Warmind cells for days. Next on the list we've got another Ikelos weapon with the Ikelos Sniper Rifle. Another weapon that was reintroduced in the Season of Arrivals, but this time through the Exodus Umbral engrams accessed via the Umbral decoder. Once again, this weapon is likely not to be available after Season 11, so if you haven't got yourself a decent roll yet, now is the time. This solar energy sniper is also a rapid fire frame, and so it too has deeper ammo reserves and reloads faster when empty. This weapon is still a great option for top tier DPS, but there are a few roles you'll want to consider, especially when it comes to creating as many Warmind cells as possible. As with the EP Shotty, you'll probably want to consider either tactical, extended or appended mag to boost that magazine size, but I'd definitely be on the lookout for one with the Seraph rounds perk. Arguably this is the best neutral perk in the game, as not only does it boost range, but it also allows bullets to overpenetrate targets, essentially allowing for some excellent range crowd control if done right. Now as this weapon is a rapid fire frame, it doesn't have the highest body shot damage, so you'll want to be hitting precision shots as much as possible. In that case, 4th times the charm and triple tap will be the go-to options here, as both will return bullets to the magazine on rapid precision hits. But Feeding Frenzy is also a good call for snappier reloads too. As for the final column, multi-kill clip is a great one to pair with that Feeding Frenzy roll, as it will massively increase your damage output on adds and yellow bars, which is what you'll want to be taking out often to create Warmind cells. Alternatively, high impact reserves will boost weapon damage as the magazine gets lower, which works great with both 4th times the charm and triple tap rolls. Honestly, there aren't too many bad perk combinations here, so go grab one and see for yourself. Next on the list is one weapon you can't get in the game anymore, as it was a Season 10 exclusive, but you might have one collecting dust in your vault that I reckon should be getting shined up for Beyond Light, and that's the 7th Seraph Carbine. This is a kinetic 450 RPM precision frame auto rifle, and so it pairs beautifully with the previously mentioned special energy weapons for an optimal Warmind cell build. It's not technically meta right now, but with the 600 RPM autos being brought back into line next season, this one will definitely be a viable option for endgame content. I'm not going to dwell on the roll combinations too much, as you can't technically obtain it anymore, so unless it gets put into the world loot pool in future season, you'll have to stomach whatever you've got. Stability is always my go-to though with any auto rifle, and so ricochet rounds is perfect for this. 4th times the charm or threat detector were definitely the best of a bad bunch of options in the 3rd column, whereas the 4th column definitely had some better choices. Vorpal weapon is there for higher boss damage, but swashbuckler or rampage will be the best rolls for high general damage to trash mobs and yellow bars, making Warmind cell production a lot more viable. The final 2 Warmind cell weapons on the list are ones that will open up the sandbox for you even more, allowing for consistent Warmind cell production, but also allowing for exotic higher DPS options like Izanagi's Burden or Anarchy. The Ikelos SMG is one you've probably seen on every major YouTube video this season, especially for PC users where its insane recoil is more manageable, but even with the right roll on console, it can still do bits. This is one of the few aggressive SMGs in the game, with its 750 RPM high energy high recoil frame. It is a primary arc energy weapon, and so is great for dealing with fallen captain shields. The only magazine perk you want again is Seraph rounds. It's such a unique perk with its ability to overpenetrate and bounce off hard surfaces, it really does add to the feel of the weapon. Subsistence or dynamic sway reduction are the go-tos for column 3, where subsistence will return ammo to the magazine on final blows but reduce its overall capacity, and dynamic sway reduction will increase its accuracy and stability when holding down the trigger. As for the final column, Vorpal weapon is on the table, but I'd go for either Demolitionist to grant grenade energy on final blows, which will also reload the weapon when using your grenade ability, or Surrounded, which will bump up the damage of the weapon when 3 or more enemies are close by. A very solid weapon for any Warmind cell build, and again one you'll need to get your hands on via the Exodus Umbral engrams before the end of year 3 and season 11. Finally, we've got another extinct fossil from the season of the Worthy, with the 7th Seraph SAWO. This is a high impact frame machine gun, which is slow firing with high damage. This weapon is more accurate when stationary and aiming down sights. This is an arc power weapon which can offer some decent DPS and high end mod clearing capabilities. Machine guns aren't a favourite right now, but this one does offer a solid choice for creating really consistent Warmind cells with minimal effort. Again, extended mag or appended mag are great options for increasing the magazine size, so we can have more chances at creating Warmind cells. This weapon did come with some really unique perk traits though, which hadn't been seen on machine guns prior. You could get Clown Cartridge, which will overflow the magazine randomly when reloading, which you could then pair with either Vorpal weapon or again another unique perk for this weapon, firing line. If you got a firing line roll, then you're done, as you'll get a nice buff to precision hits when 2 or more allies are nearby, which is excellent for strikes or dungeon activities. Zen Moment and auto-loading holster are also top choices for the third column, but there's nothing too much special about them. This rounds out the list of weapons I'd be hunting down or keeping hold of for Beyond Light and Year 4 in order to create some top tier Warmind cell loadouts and builds. Obviously there are a few more weapons capable of creating Warmind cells, like the CQC-12 shotgun, the Seraph SMG, the Officer's Revolver and the Ikelos hand cannon, but for now I believe these ones above will stand you in good stead for consistent Warmind cell production. Let me know in the comments section if you'd like to see some of the Seraph weapons return to the loot pool in Year 4, or if you'd like some new Warmind cell weapons or perks, or even allow Sleeper Simulant to create them. Remember, if you are new then please consider subscribing. It's a free and easy way to support the channel and the content I make. Plus, it allows you to stay up to date with all the latest right here, which is going to include plenty of builds and guides for Beyond Light. If you did enjoy this video, then a rating down below always helps me out and is always greatly appreciated. That's it for this one though, so on that, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.